So in terms of competitiveness, the overall economy, where do we have our strengths today? If we're looking at economic competitiveness, global competitiveness for Nigeria, because as you've said, we're depending on things. We were talking before we came on air about how you were saying that we're dependent on the outside, and so for us to wean ourselves from that dependence, what will we need to do to be more competitive?
Well, there are so many things we can do to make us more competitive. Like I pointed out earlier on before we come to the studio.
Yes.
I said we need to look inward.
Yes.
Empower the people. If we want to go for agriculture, because that is where we have competitive advantage.
Yes.
Because the land is there. And not only just being a land, arable land. We don't need much, just mere fertilizer. What they need is to up their understanding of modern way of doing farming, so that we can.
Who are they? The government or the farmers?
No, government does not farm.
Okay.
I have not seen any government farm anywhere.
No, but you said that we need to empower them. So
empower the people that are actually into farming.
That is the government.
Government should empower.
With what?
The people with all that is needed.
Like what?
One fund.
Okay.
Some of them used to complain they don't have access to fertilizer.
Okay.
But the government program for now has made the whole thing look a bit simpler. That a basic farmer can access it, but it seems it's only working in the northern part of the country. Like if you go to the southern part, like in my own village, what they are into is cocoa. And then
where is what part of the
that is from Abia State side, from east.
Yes.
Many of them are used to cocoa.
Yes.
Then palm fronts, that's palm tree, and then food crops. You know, cocoa is cash crop.
Yes. And
then that was why I asked the question: that what are we actually sending outside for us to be able to get this extent? It's only cash crop. Like in Kano, in the olden days, we hear about a granite pyramid.
Yes.
So those things should be resuscitated again, whereby when we go into large-scale production of all this, we cannot send it because I still believe we have comparative advantage vis-a-vis with other nations. I was told that Malaysia came to Nigeria some years ago to borrow palm fruit from Nigeria. And today, they are far ahead of Nigeria. Why? So the simple answer is that the governments look inward, empower them, took what they borrowed from Nigeria, and then added their own knowledge, and then before we know it, they're up ahead of us.
When it comes to access to capital, for example, financial resources, to buy, when I say capital,
capital implements.
I mean tools, but they have to first get the money to buy it.
Yes.
So when it comes to that, what do you think? Can we maintain an interest rate regime of under 10% when inflation is 16% for farmers?
Of course, that calls for subsidization.
Okay. Will you then subsidize every single farmer in the country?
If it's possible.
Can we afford
as far as the benefit,
yes,
we are sure of getting this. After I was told that even in US they still subsidize their agriculture.
Yeah, but they have the agriculture as a share of GDP is like 1 point something. They have a huge non-agriculture part of GDP that can support agriculture. Here, agriculture is 20-something, 22% of GDP.
Good. That is why we now have advantage.
The other sectors, are they able to support something that is 22% of GDP?
Since we have identified agriculture as the base for which our economy can thrive, nothing stops us from subsidizing it. As far as we know that the benefits is going to be so much that we can't in any way suffer loss. Nothing stops us from subsidizing it. Making sure that every aspect of agriculture, whether it is forestry, whether it is cash crop, whether it's food crop, when these things are put in place, and then the farmer is able to have access to implement that is required to promote agriculture, then the output will increase. Already I've mentioned
what about public-private partnerships in agriculture? Are there any models that you have in your mind that we can employ?
When we talk about
to do that.
PPE, that's public-private partnership.
Yes.
It's unfortunate the private sector in Nigeria want to make a quick money.
Okay.
They are not interested in waiting and delaying for a period of time, because the time lag in agriculture is very much that you need patience.
Yeah. As we try to round up here, we've come out of recession. There are some people that are rejoicing that we're out of recession. Should we rejoice? What is the takeaway as far as a regular person is concerned? As somebody like yourself, now you're not a regular person, you're a professor at a university. What does it mean? Should we rejoice? Should we jump up and down and celebrate the end of recession in Nigeria at this time?
Well, it's unfortunate that in Nigeria, most often things are done with political interest rather than on the economic point of view. Economically, it's not for us to rejoice, because the average man in the street has not had any impact. In fact, the impact of it has not shown in his life. So there's no need for us to roll out our drums. It's not yet to grow. Just like the president himself acknowledged, until the common man see it reflected on his life, that he's able to have access to food at a very affordable price, then we have not achieved anything. After all, what are we talking about? Only 0.55%, which means we are still at the danger zone. Anything can happen that we may slip back into recession. And that's why we must not rejoice. Yeah. But some political agents who cap on that and begin to make a political advantage. So, can you see the government is working? Things are working. Things are not yet working. We should not see as if that we have achieved anything. Rather, we should look at it as we are just trying to...
Until we really get into an expansionary phase,
good,
is when we should be happy. Good. When would that be? What would we see so we know that the economy is on an expansionary path?
What we need to do, again, that
households, what would they see?
I did not mention earlier, was we need to look for a way to empower the people.
Okay.
The take-home pay of the workers is too poor. You know, the government introduced increase in fuel price, which automatically took a large chunk of the income, the real income, away from the people. Government hiked the electricity price. It also took a large chunk from the people's income. And that means the people have been downgraded to zero. So government need to empower them by increasing the salary of workers.
Inflation?
No.
Professor?
That will not create inflation.
Okay, why not?
It won't at all. The inflation we are suffering in Nigeria today is as result of the actions of government, the policies the government took.
Okay.
That was what created that inflation. For instance, increasing the fuel price from 97 naira to 145. You know what that one means? Because everything in Nigeria is tied to fuel. There's nothing you can do without using fuel. The market woman talks about fuel because it has to move from one point to another. And when the government introduced this, I was expecting government to introduce a palliative, just like the previous government did. But government did not do anything.
They have the 5,000 naira conditional cash transfer program.
How many people? Ask any of your staff whether they are.
They have the Empower program.
All those things are theory.
Okay.
It doesn't directly reach out to the common man on the street. How many of our people who have been affected by this economic situation has been included in the 5,000 naira stipend that's been given to the people? Even the Empower. How many? Even some people are saying that it's 419. Yes, because
they haven't got it.
They haven't got it.
But it's not.
So how many? Look at a population of Nigeria is about 180 million.
Yeah.
And out of that, you said you created a program. That's how many people have been affected. What percentage of the Nigerians are benefiting from that? So that cannot be a yardstick for us to know that to say government has created palliative. There's no palliative. But if it was something like you introduce a urban mass transit, whether to every local government, at least it will go a long way to affect everybody. People will feel it. And then you subsidize the cost of transportation. That will even affect the cost of moving food from the rural area where this food are produced to the cities. So that's why government must have to wake up and do something, particularly to empower the people, so that they will not say, where is the money? Just last week, I read NNPC saying that they paid within 2 months 24 trillion naira to government account in CBN. Then I asked, how much is our budget for the year? Just a mere 7 trillion. And then within 2 months, an agency of government said they have paid in 24 trillion naira. This was it was aired in the AIT and even in NTA. So that means money should not be a major problem for them to empower the people to get the economy.
We'll talk about on a different date.
Thank you so much, sir.
But Professor, I want to thank you so very much.
Thanks so much, sir.
Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.